Animaine is designated Michael Churchill, standing here to your left, as our official safety officer. OSHA regulations require that you comply with the instructions of the safety officer at all times. It is a violation of state and federal law to be out of compliance with the safety officer. Your badge will be taken. 3. Federal regulations govern the use of propane gas. Propane gas may not be used by any individual except those specifically designated by the convention and allowed to use it. I'm trying not to give things away. Use the gas. At any time, it may be at the discretion of Michael Churchill as the safety officer, important to encourage you to say, step back, or not be so close to the propane gas. Again, compliance with Mr. Churchill's instructions is required. Additionally, compliance with the instructions of any Animaine security personnel who are designated by an orange armband, headband, leg band, band, are required. Finally, thank you so much for coming to this event. We hope that it is fun, we hope that it is safe, we hope that it is warm for the most part.
Yes.
When the event concludes, we'll be closing this room down so we can set up for the dance. I am now pleased as punch to hand this over to Mr. Colin Harvey, Mr. Greg Ayers, and Miss Tia Bell.
Your mic works. Do you know how to mic? Oh, this is your mic.
Yeah. I think it's my
Yeah, you can share a mic. How are you guys doing? So, Colin, are you going to tell them what we're doing first?
Alright, we're going to first give everyone a bit of an education on how to spot bootlegs and what they are, really. Who here doesn't know what bootlegs are?
Feel free to raise your hand if you don't, it's fine.
Yeah?
One in the back.
Yeah, awesome.
Alright. So, bootlegs are illegitimate merchandise that has been created and sold sold anywhere illegally, and it uses the copyrighted materials and content from other shows. And the reason this is a big problem is that none of that money will go back to the original creators. So you might buy a bunch of bootleg discs of a show you really like, but now you're not going to get a second season because no one got the money. Additionally, they can be hazardous to your health, so that's a good thing to avoid.
And the whole concept behind bootleg products is this. Is somebody that wants to make an honest living doesn't sell bootlegs. The whole idea is to make bootlegs out of inferior products, something that can be made very cheaply, to sell it to you at an exaggerated price, and then get the F out of Dodge so they can go do it to somebody else. The whole idea behind someone that sells bootleg merchandise is not somebody that wants to help you. They're lining their pockets, and they do it at the expense of our fandom because it takes money out of the pockets of people that do produce the content that we love and we watch. And in many cases, we've heard stories of plushies, for instance, that were stuffed with fiberglass. Ooh. Yeah. So the next time we say, "Oh, this is just some bootleg Pokemon," but it doesn't matter. Think about somebody's little baby girl sister sucking on a Jigglypuff foot and it being filled with fiberglass. It's pretty serious stuff. So again, cheap materials don't always equal safe materials. One Piece toys. One Piece toys. What is it called? Never mind. Yes, she called it One Piece. Oh crap. Not the show. The bad toys. So what do you want to start with?
I think we'll start with like the
easiest.
The easiest stuff.
The easiest stuff. So DVDs are tough because a lot of times they pack the same content as the original product. We were just talking about it. A friend of mine had a bootleg Chrono Crusade disc, and I said, "Well, that doesn't have the dub on it." And he goes, "Yeah, it's got your voice on it." And not only did it have my voice, but it had some of the extras on the original discs. Because in many cases, they take the original product and just do a bad duplication of it. You want to talk about some of the bad things that can happen with poorly duplicated DVDs?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look, he's holding up a few
I'm ready.
collections there.
I'm ready to contribute to it.
Generally, like a DVD has what? Dave will ask a DVD producer. Around how many episodes? 27-minute episodes can you push on a disc?
It really varies, but generally you're going to put
comfortably
4 or
like
5 on
about 4, 5, 6 occasionally. If it's a small show, more. But like generally 4 or 5 is. How many of you have seen those perfect collections available on eBay that are like all of Sailor Moon on 5 discs? So what do you have to do to put that much on one disc? Compress it. Which means you do what?
Make a dated DVD.
You lose quality. I had old Hong Kong bootleg discs, because once upon a time I didn't know the difference. And I didn't know why sometimes my subtitles didn't turn on. And I would think I had to reboot my DVD player, which worked sometimes. So you can have all kind of read errors when you've compressed data that was not meant to be compressed that way. What are some other things we see? Bad,
Well, I mean, even with the compression, there's artifacting all over the image. You know, when you see a badly compressed image online and it's got all the, like, you see all the squares and all the stuff, well, you'll get,
Pixels.
Netflix on 480.
You mean Netflix on a hotel connection? It's true. Not this hotel, other hotels. I got a good connection last night. There was one other thing that I was going to say about the, and I've lost it.
Poor sound.
Oh yeah, bad compression on sound is awful. It's the worst.
Different openings.
Different openings.
Case in point right here.
I haven't seen those, but it's possible.
I can tell you like everything about these DVDs that make it so cringeworthy as far as openings, the quality of the DVD, and all that in a bag of chips.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, can you summarize it because we don't have all day?
Yes. All right. So basically,
quick, not basically, quick.
How would you?
Quick.
I gotta hold it up for everyone. All right, so I'm big into Case Closed Detective Conan, as you can all see right here. Now, when they take 200 episodes and put it,
He wants you to have the microphone.
he wants me to have the microphone.
Then you can hear.
All right. So you guys can all hear me now. Okay. So when they take 200 something episodes, put it on about 12 DVDs, literally. On the back here, they actually put whiteout over the fact that there's English subtitles. Literally, there's supposed to be English subtitles, and they actually whited it out that there's no English subtitles on here. And on top of that, they made their own opening, spliced it all together, and used an old opening theme song, and even changed the subtitles for all the characters' names. All on this one amazing DVD that I am ready to sacrifice and get rid of.
Yeah! I don't know if you can see it. It literally has liquid paper over where it says English subtitles down here. It's Chinese and white blob of goo. So how are the ways that we can look at these discs to inspect them to see whether they're legit or whether they're booty? Wait, there's a waving hand in the back. That always wins. What region it's for, and where do you find the region coding? Usually in the back, there's like a little back area down here that has technical information about the disc. What region are we located in?
1.
Region 1. What do you see? What do you think when you see region 0?
Nowhere.
Or one that says all.
Region
A
all.
little globe.
Nowhere.
Did somebody say one that said off? That would be awesome. I would love off. We've turned off regions. All the regions are off. Yeah, we're in a region restricted area. Region 1 discs are what we look for. There have only been a few cases of people that create region-free DVDs. It's not standard at all. Are you going somewhere, Tia?
No.
Oh, she's standing up. Okay, we're talking. What else? What else can you look for? Region encoding, yeah.
Copyright.
Oh man, this is gonna be the reverse. I mean, this is gonna be the verse you hear us sing all night long. you look for copywriting and branding information all over the disc, and we're not, anime fans are very familiar with the copyright holders' names. They're people like Kodansha and Gonzo and Toei, and if not that, the American copyright holders, ADV Films, Funimation, Viz. I'm trying to think, Animaine. I'm pulling that out of my hat from a million years ago. You know, Manga Corp. There's tons of those. When you see DVDs that have no copyright or no branding at all, it's usually a pretty good indicator that something else is missing. What else?
Well,
You had something else to that, yeah. Okay. We've got more. There's more hands. Yes, your hand.
What about if it says this DVD is not acknowledged by the original artist?
Oh.
Well, I think that's a flaming example of wrong. This DVD is not recognized by the artist. I've never seen that. I would like that.
I have one.
Really? You have one with you?
I don't have it with me.
Oh. We love examples.
But I'll tell you what, if I come back next year,
bring it.
When you come
I will
back
destroy
next
it
year.
for you guys.
Yes, it's awesome.
It's yours next year.
Yes, awesome. We'll read you some bad copyright notices in a minute. They're really bad. They're really awful.
You wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
They spelled wrong.
Yes. But we were just talking about well, yes, somebody said L's and R's. There are some official Ava merchandise that come with foil posters that say Neon Genesis Evangelion. Those are actually legitimate. The multiple spelling problems, yes. Character names being wrong, yes. Characters that don't belong in the show, yes. We'll show you that. Yeah, in the back, yeah.
Summaries on the back that are completely wrong.
That is my favorite. There is, oh my god, there is a Wallflower bootleg, and if I wasn't so, like, you know, stupid about bootleg merchandise, I would have bought it just because it's one of these, like, classic bootlegs. They had gotten Shinichi Watanabe, who's Nabishin, they had gotten him confused with Harold Sakuichi, who was the mangaka for Beck. And there is a Wallflower DVD that is a bootleg that says, The Wallflower Mongolian Chop Squad. And it's all the artwork from Wallflower. And then you read the synopsis about this young boy named Koyuki who's struggling to find his place. And I'm like, it was so funny, and I really want to buy it, and I've gone through the racks at Hong Kong City Mall several times trying to find it again. Next time I see it, I'll buy it just so we can add it to the museum. Yeah, it says Shinichi Harold Watanabe, which is a mixture of, you know, Harold Sakuichi and Shinichi Watanabe, but very rarely do you ever see Nabishin refer to himself as Shinichi Watanabe unless it's on the credits, so.
I want to point one thing. Actually, I donated last year.
Yay,
I
thank
don't know
you.
if you remember the Gundam Wing DVDs.
Yes, we do.
I don't know if anyone knows Gundam, but they actually refer to the colonies as sides.
Yeah.
If you don't know, that's what they call it in the original Gundam, which has nothing to do with Gundam Wing.
That's so funny. What else? Yeah, Blue, you've still got.
Characters that aren't even in the show.
Yes, Mary Sue.
There we go.
Here in Evangelion. She's like, she really needs her own show now. Like, where she just wanders in and out of other shows looking for her home. Like, I think we've got a hit on our hands there. Like, when she makes that face when she shows up, like, yeah? Like, no. No. Yeah, is it this one? No. Yeah, this is the classic. I was telling Colin, they were asking me questions and making jokes about this when I was in the UK, like laughing about this disc, so, I don't know, we might be promoting that, I don't know. What else? There's a few more people, yeah.
Showing how the thing is packaged with the DVD that I have in
Yeah,
there.
so this is something you don't always have the joy of doing, though. A lot of times when you buy something, you can't inspect the inside of the packaging, but, like, first of all, this isn't a good fit, but when, here, can you hold this for 1 second? Poor Tia has been the mic stand tonight. When you open this, okay, wait, I gotta do it again, hang on, wait. When you open this, this little DVD. Oh, no, I can do this. Like little DVD condom falls out with like. And the weird thing is, there is a DVD in here. It's supposed to be a Blu-ray. Oh yeah, look at this one.
Those are all my. Yep.
Sexy. Look, doesn't that look high quality?
12.
That looks
Yeah,
horrible.
we said this looks like an old VHS rental box from like Blockbuster. And there's nothing to hold the discs in place. It's just an empty box. Yeah, the thing about this is you can't always inspect the inside of the package. A lot of times if we buy something online, the big problem with buying things online, we were talking about it before you guys walked in, is that now sellers will put pictures of the authentic merchandise and then send you this booty stuff, and it doesn't match what they. I can't ever get this back in.
No, it really isn't right.
Oh my
You
god.
say we need to look at the inside of it.
Oh, the post. Yeah,
The poster.
you should see the poster.
The poster.
Hang on. Where'd the poster go?
No,
Oh, it's the inside. We just have to open the flap. Oh, that's right. I can't ever remember. So now again. Tia's reaction is the most honest. Again, so we have a chance to get it right on the inside, and she's like, yeah, here? She's the largest character in this picture. I know, well, she's like, yeah? You're like, no. But if you turn this upside down, can anybody spot the Pokemon?
It's not the Pokemon, it's right there.
Where? Hang on.
Right there.
This is actually pulled. It was a movie poster, right?
No, it's I think it's for one of the card games. There's a poster.
And the background is actually stolen from a Pokemon
you can
card
see it in the
game.
clouds right there.
Yeah.
That's Marcelia.
Yeah, it is. And he's just as confused as why he's here as Mary Sue. Like, he's like, yeah.
But it's very soon not a
So,
character, not anime.
To other shows.
Is that what it is?
That could be what it is.
So there are some funny telltale signs on the outside that we haven't talked about. Hang on. I want Colin to read this because Colin reads this so much better than I
Oh my god, yeah. Come on, Colin!
Go, Colin.
do. Yeah, here, wait. I can put this back together.
Yeah.
I want Colin to read you the copyright warning on the bottom of this disc.
All right. Warning. Please read the just warmong carefully before opening the sealed package. By copying the license the film, including its soundtrack, comprised in this Kineto video disc for sale and private home viewing only. All unauthorized use includes selling, relling, exporting Rubik, performance broadcasting, and or trading any part of this copyright material without obtaining prior written licenses and infringement of copyright. Violators will be prosecuted.
I love that they threaten copyright prosecution after telling us not to rel anything. Because I know when I'm relling, I worry about whether I'm breaking the law or not. Selling and relling, that's how we roll.
Don't forget the fan art!
Now the art on the box, again, like, if you get the chance to inspect the actual disc, hang on, I've got to take this gem away from me for 1 second. If you look closely, Shinji has a beautiful bowl cut on the back of this disc.
Oh my god.
And many of the pictures in here are from, one of them is it two of them from the video game?
All of these ones
Are from the video game. It's the inside that has the weird ones that aren't from anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's like images from the video game here, and then images from WTF Barbecue inside. Like, yeah. What is it? This one that is the weird one?
Yeah,
that's not even Ava characters. Yeah. Oh, and sadly, it's falling apart now, as bootlegs do. Man.
It's also, when you put this one into the disc player, a Blu-ray, a very, very glitchy Blu-ray logo pops up. And it's still a DVD, but it's like, it loops twice and then maybe goes to the menu.
Maybe.
At which point, when you play the movies, it is hella compressed. but it also has the English dub, 2 seconds offset from everything else.
Oh my god.
So yeah, like, and obviously, like, these are problems, not just for the industry, but you as a fan get ripped off in the process. Like, I mean, I've had people argue with me, and they're like, well, why do you care? I'm like, well, because you deserve the real thing. And it's usually cheaper in some cases than what they say. And Colin's going to do it. I'm going to let Colin talk to you about this disc, because it's so good,
right.
Speaking of price.
So, this, I bought this, and it's called the Evangelion, Neon Genesis Evangelion S2 Works, which was basically a whole bunch of, I believe it was a bunch of fans just did their own versions of a bunch of the Evangelion songs, and they compiled, and it was official, and they compiled all of the songs together onto this huge soundtrack, which is 6 discs, and there was a bonus disc that you got if you got the really good one. So I've been looking for this for a while, and I found it on eBay for like $40. And so I got it, and you remember how many discs I said were in this? 7. So there's 7.
Oh.
Backwards.
There's 4.
It's like making it rain. Discs in here.
What's going on? What is that?
What? Wow.
This is how it came. I did not break this later.
Hold it up higher, Colin. What's saying? Is that supposed to be a CD or a DVD?
Rise, Colin.
These are all
It's in
CDs.
2 parts.
The pictures are literally screenshots from the anime.
Oh no, this is artwork that is on the original box. However, so after getting this is before I knew what bootlegs were really, and after I started doing so, I was, because especially with discs, there's a lot of companies that we know, they put their logo on it, and we know that they are the bootlegging companies. This one is from KO Records Limited and Trading Company Limited, and I had noticed that this was a bit lacking in quality when I got it, so I looked up the company, found out that they are a big disc bootlegger, and since then I have looked up a bit more about this specific CD set, and it is actually a cube is what the whole thing comes in, and there are, each individual discs have their own thing to go in. And I looked it up a bit more, and from what I understand, they only ever printed 10,000 copies of this. So, and I mean, there's 10,000 copies on eBay right now. So, but it retail, like, I don't know what retail for, but for the legitimate ones, I've seen it from between $200 to $500 going for legitimate ones, which I unfortunately haven't been able to get yet. But so they are.
But Colin would spend that much on one.
Yes.
I've seen Colin buy back his own stuff at the auction that he donated for the auction.
That's true too. Since Colin mentioned CDs, there's so much to talk about, because CDs are the ones that I see more people getting ripped off than most now. There's several, like Colin said, there's several companies that we know of they specialize in creating something called gray market goods. Gray market goods are goods that are created in China, and I got accused of being a racist for saying this. China is a country, what? There, in that little crawl space?
Like between
the paper and the plastic. Wow. Poor little disc. It's like Harry Potter down there. No copyright. Yeah, so there's companies that they create goods in China, because China is pretty infamous for not enforcing copyright law. And in many of the cases, on the discs themselves, they say not for sale outside of China. And these are called gray market goods. If you look up the names of some of these companies, even just to a simple Google search of like Mio Recordings or Sanmei Records, it will tell you that this is a company that bootlegs
I got a perfect website to tell you about, Taobao.com.
Taobao.com.
I saw this website. I was looking for a CD that, and someone was actually selling it for like $10 where I couldn't find it anywhere else. Turns out it's just a burned copy of this CD, but they don't.
Several people do that online.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
The thing about those, and there are several of them, and the sad thing is I can tell you the names of these companies and new ones appear. The ones we see most often, Sanmei, KO, Mio Recordings, Ever Anime. I don't see Ever too much anymore, but that was another one. And these people put their logo on the side of it. They're proud to sell you some bad stuff. Some of the examples of things I've seen on bootleg soundtracks, for instance, the bootleg, there is an authentic Chronos Crusade soundtrack. It's very expensive. I think it was $60 the last time I priced it. There's also one that I see floating around conventions a lot. It has what I consider to be bad fan art of Chrono and Rosette on the cover. Guess what song it's missing?
The opening.
The opening song. Huh. The Sam 7 soundtrack that someone gave me at a convention is missing vital music, and there's music that I can't identify as being from Sam 7 in it. So with audio recordings, there's so many things that can sneak in. Again, even some of the Final Fantasy audio recordings are compressed because they've taken what is a 4-disc set and dumbed it down to 2 discs. So yeah, does anybody have anything on audio CDs? Let's talk about these awful laminated posters for a second. How dare you, Colin? Once upon a time, any convention you went to, almost every single vendor had a cardboard box that was filled with what we called lammies. Lammies are just laminated posters. They were, what, like 2 for $1 or 3 for $1? Yeah, so they're high quality goods, obviously. These are in many cases just reproductions from art books, sometimes not, sometimes pulled from other sources. Oh yeah, and they always had weird numbers in the corners of them. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, because I have a bunch of Sayuki ones that I used to show people are like so horrible, because they have really bad writing on them too. But yeah, they all have those numbers in the corner. How legit do you think these posters are?
None.
Okay, good. Then we're all on the same page. One of my favorite pictures, is Valerie even here? Is Valerie here?
She said she'll be back for Bootleg.
One of my favorite pictures is of Valerie ripping up a Lammy poster. It's a Lammy Sailor Moon, and she's like... Which we found out they're hard to destroy, too.
Yeah.
We found out here, exactly. What else, Colin? What do you want to talk about? Wall scrolls. Oh, God.
What is that?
What is that?
I can't.
I'm sure the people in the back of the room can.
Oh my God.
I have bad eyes.
That's Mitsugaya from Bleach.
Bad eyes, and I
Yay! Look.
Hitsugaya, I should say.
Da-da-da-da.
Toshido Hitsugaya.
Yeah, see, I can't even see. Thank you, man.
Show him the colored pencils.
I don't know. Check with you.
Colored pencils.
Whoever thought gray on gray would make
Hey, Greg, can you lightly touch on Square Enix weaponry?
Yes, let's do that.
You were telling me that.
Yes.
I was.
So, well, wait. Let's talk about wall scrolls real quick first. So, what do you just aside from it? Oh, yuck! Wow. I need a bath. That's gross.
It's dust coming up.
No, it's not that. It's like a chemical feel to it.
Oh.
I knew David was laughing. I knew David would have laughed at that. Pun round 1. That's funny. So what did you notice the lack of on that wall scroll? Color. Well, yes, that's obvious. Color.
Pixels.
It looked like it was done on an old desk jet. There's no branding on it whatsoever. And the thing is, we're really fortunate in the States. We have this company called Great Eastern. If you are not familiar with them, almost every wall scroll you've ever bought chances are it's been made by Great Eastern. Their logo is a square with a little square inside of it that has a round G and a round E, and it's black and red. Do we have something that's got a GE logo on it? Go to the vendor's room. I'm sure you'll find one. Now they actually make toys and body pillows and towels and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, these wall scrolls also, what was the other one? The string hanger? String hangers are a giveaway. What else? There's no branding. If it looks crappy, it's probably... There's this see-through one that we saw at an anime store in a mall in San Antonio one time. Yeah.
I have a Final Fantasy VII Tifa. Her stomach and her back are worst.
See, here's the tough thing with that. Like, there's part of me that wants that because it's just so weird. Do you have it? You should take a picture of it. Another thing, let me mention this because this is something that there's several online resources. If you're interested in finding out how to spot the differences in these things, Colin and I weren't born understanding bootlegs and God knows we could have been filling our minds with other useless stuff. His with more Ava knowledge, me with more songs.
Everything Ava knowledge.
Yeah. But a lot of really solid information is available online. One place that and that's where I was going to tell you, you should take a picture of it and upload it to Anime Fans Against Bootleg on Facebook. Their user profile picture is always a ridiculous piece of bootleg merchandise, like the Raggedy Ann looking Sephiroth with the rosy red lips and the circle cheeks. And they have the, what is it, Red 6 or Red 7? I always get the name wrong. Red 13, thank you. See, I was not even in the right ballpark. That is green. Yeah, she's opened it. She's like, are these supposed to be stickers? Are they not sticky? They're stamps, lick it. What are some other good online resources? Y'all's site, you have some really good information there. Oh, okay. So will that be on which site? Anime Defense Fund or bootlegfree.org?
Bootleg-free, no, that one's still up, yeah.
Okay. Also take a look at, there's a website that some really good people here created, bootlegfree.org. It's a really fantastic idea that vendors can sign up with bootlegfree.org, and you know when you see the bootlegfree.org stuff, you're getting quality merchandise too. That's one of the things that, unfortunately, I don't always have a great answer when people are like, well, how do I keep from getting ripped off online? I don't have a good answer for you. If you like eBay, you're in Vegas, you're gambling, and I'm not saying that about eBay as a company, but I've been had several times on eBay myself. The best idea is to stick with reputable vendors that you know have a good reputation. Right stuff, dealing with vendors that you know that you've built a relationship with at conventions like Anime Pavilion, Fast Food Anime. Those are your safest bets for not getting ripped off online. Somebody was raising their hand, and I'm very distracted. Yes.
Banger. Wall scroll that had like one 2D Mickey Mouse on the side, and then like a bunch of characters from like different games with like different blurs and like foreground from like different screenshots.
There's a mall by my house in Houston, or by my folks' house in Houston, called Hong Kong City Mall, and I've seen some wall scrolls that should be called bad Photoshop. And it looks like they're just like, oh yeah, we'll put this in the picture, and like, yeah, you see weird things. Because wall scrolls are just art. It's just, they've taken art and reproduced it on fabric. Before we talk about the Square Enix weapons, since we're talking about art, I want to talk about posters real fast. When you walk up to a poster vendor and every single poster they sell is the same size, be very leery of that vendor. And I'm not going to name them by name. I'd love to. I would really love to, but laws don't allow me to do that. And there's a classic poster. Anybody that's a J-pop fan will know the poster I'm talking about. There's a classic Ayumi Hamasaki poster, the cat girl poster. The cat girl. Like, everybody's like, oh yeah. She's in like a little cat girl costume, skin tight. Of course, it's Hamasaki. And its dimensions are like this. It's like about a foot across by like 3 foot down. It is the strangest dimension. Anybody want to take a guess why that poster was done that way?
So it would not be bootleg.
It makes it almost impossible to reproduce it unless you do it in the exact same size, which costs money.
Yeah.
The whole thing behind bootlegging things is you've got to find a way to do it cheap so that you can get out of town. And the only way that you could stretch and morph that photo, she's going to look like a hamster before it's over and not a pretty cat girl. So that is one thing that I'm an old school collector of like posters and stuff like that, and like our friend Liz even has this beautiful two-sided Chrono Crusade poster that has different artwork on both sides. Like those things are strange dimensions, and they're not standard for that reason, so that you know you're getting a good collectible item. And sadly, there are lots of people that sell, hey, look, hey, where are those lammies? They're all the same size. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, they're all the... Lammies, by and large, are always that size. They're almost always the exact same size. Yeah?
I've actually seen a vendor that sells lammies, and they'll actually have fan art. Well, still.
Yeah, we've seen that. Like I said, sometimes they pull the art from wherever. Yeah, sometimes they pull art from anywhere.
People have said, I know that person, I know that they didn't give you permission to that. They're like, no, they did. Wow. Like,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
to the person's face. They're like...
Yeah, no, there's a piece of artwork that was made specifically for me that happened with a lot. The poster that Shadra did, the DJ Chrono thing, and that's all over DeviantArt, and everybody claims it's theirs, but I've seen the original, so I know it's garbage, but yeah. It's one of the potholes in dealing with digital imagery. It's very easy to pretend it's your own, but somebody asked about Square Enix weaponry, and I swear we're not going to be boring. This is going to get really exciting in just a minute. Really, really exciting. But how many of you are fans of like Final Fantasy or
Kingdom Hearts?
Kingdom Hearts. Thank you. I was like Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mouse. Kingdom Hearts. How many replicas of those weapons do you think Square Enix commissioned or allowed?
Zero.
Absolutely none.
I was almost killed by a Square Enix blade before.
Really?
The one I donated here, my ex was sitting there going like this. He
Oh,
went like
yeah.
that. It went like this right by my face and broke a window.
Yeah, and actually I've heard the actual answer from Enix as to why they do it, and I think it's a beautifully eloquent answer.
Yeah.
They are in the market to entertain people. They are not in the market of killing things and making weapons. And there is a liability when you start creating weapons. You'll poke your eye out with it thing. But swords... Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about. The swords specifically, swords are very, very, very dangerous if they're made poorly. Most of the reproduction swords that are made to be sold at cons and Ren fairs and trade shows are what we call, there are hilt swords and there are full tang swords. Hilt swords are just made for decoration. They're not meant to be played with or anything, because the blade stops where the handle starts. And you can imagine how dangerous that is. At a cosplay competition in Iowa, we saw kids playing around with one and the blade detach and go flying into the air. Luckily, there was like 15 feet of crawl space and it went, on the floor, but everybody in the room went, as we watched this blade go flying into the air. That could have easily been in a room this size, and Gabriel had a, as a keyblade in his head. Gabriel has to walk around with a keyblade, half in his head, the arrowhead thing.
I'm not a keyhole!
Yeah. So when you see someone selling those things, they're absolutely not authentic. And in many cases, if Enix had the ability to get to them quickly, Enix doesn't play around with lawsuits. Enix has one lawyer that I know of, but I've heard there's like 3 of them that just go to conventions looking for people that they can bust and take down. Yeah.
Did they ever catch that guy who was selling the keyblades?
No, they're closed.
They're always closed.
Yeah, well, no. They exerted some pressure to get that guy, but he's just a scumbag. That's the thing. They're bootleggers. They're scumbags. So.
My sword was given to me for free at the end of the day. He's like, I got 1,000,000 of these. You can have it.
Yeah. This is how serious they are, because this is what she's alluding to. Enix was at a convention where a woman was selling keyblades. These keyblades are made by one specific vendor, and I can't say his name legally, which is so stupid because he's not playing by the rules. But anyway, and they said she was taken by the dealer's room head and the concierge, and she was pulled out, and she was sat down in a room, in a conference room with Enix's lawyer, and they said, look, you're selling something that is illegal. We can press charges against you. There's a lot of things that we can do to fix this situation. And of course, the response that you always get when you confront someone selling bootlegs is, I didn't know. Oh, I didn't know. They said, we're also the only company that can give you the rights to sell however many you have left, which I think was 3. And they had rules. The rules were simple. You could not sell them for over $40. You had to let the person know that they were getting unauthorized merchandise, and she had to give the name of the supplier that she bought them from. So they're serious. They want this guy's blood. They'll get him eventually. Lawyers do. Lawyers don't give up easy. I used to work with those guys. They're awful. Oh, I thought you were raising your hand. I was like, yes, Tia? She's stretching. She's just here for the fun part, I think. She just wants to see the destruction.
It's good she put her hair back.
Now, what else? We've not talked about some things. What do we? Oh, I know who makes those now. I actually know the vendor that makes those now. Yeah. You talk. I've been talking a bunch. You talk, Colin.
I'm gonna stretch like Tia.
Alright, so I used to have an Ava copy of these, but we've since destroyed them. These are playing cards. And do you want to demo them?
Playing cards. Bibana. Or trading cards.
So,
Oh, I just forgot about
Let's
something.
get a good fan on him. How do you hand that off?
This is not going to end well.
So all of these cards are...
We'll leave one with Colin.
Yeah. One thing to notice about these cards, the first thing I notice is no copyright anywhere. Not even pretending. And they have, you know, some cool looking artwork on the back, but if you look at it really closely, it's kind of shoddily printed. But now when you look at these, the insides of every card, they are like screen caps and from like from the games, and not from the games, but from the cutscenes. And so, some of them are pictures, and it's one of the things like if you know the games, you recognize them immediately. And if you've seen more than one copy of these, like not this same pack, but like the Ava one, all they've done really is they have like a bunch of Ava pictures, shuffle them, and then slap this template of a card on them, and they're all, the templates are identical.
Yeah, even if it's different shows. Like if you look at the Hellsing cards, they look just like the Final Fantasy cards, and if you look at the Evangelion cards, they look just like the Final Fantasy cards.
And down in the bottom here, in like big letters, it says "Made in Taiwan."
Even in fancy letters, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's like, it's even decorative type down here.
And they also come in these really
Shoddy cases.
crappy cases
Yeah,
that...
they come in these little...
Look at that one. That's how I got that one.
Yeah, it came broke.
Came broke. Now, like, if you look at the legit stuff, Great Eastern has a few cases, and they come in cardboard packs, and they have...
Black Butler, Cowboy Bebop. There's several of them that you can buy that are legit now.
And they all have copyright and the Great Eastern logo, everything on them.
She's like, I'm rocking out too.
No, these are not.
Alright.
Yeah. Even these cards, but I guess these would be harder to show just because they're clear.
If these are weird.
I couldn't stop looking at when I first came in.
They're all pictures from the Evangelion art books and stuff, but they're
different art books too.
Yeah, they're transparent, and one of them is just the cover to the art book with the title on it.
This one, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's the cover.
And they're these weird. The background is transparent, and parts of them are transparent, parts are not, which is weird because, you know, to make these, someone had to go into the into like Photoshop, cut out the background for each one of these cards, and then
And some of them aren't transparent. That's the weird thing. Some of them are just plastic.
yeah, it's and this is one of these weird items. They're not playing cards. They're just these cards, and you know, like when you go into oh wait no I got something. Oh, where did I put it?
Which bag? Just goodie bags.
I'm dirty.
Is that a bootleg Sentai Films bag?
No. This is a wallet. So, how many people know what Nerve's motto is?
Oh, I love this.
Okay. Say it.
God in heaven, all's right with the world.
Close enough. God's in his heaven, all's right. So this one, right here, emblazoned here in silver on the front of this box. Dog's in his heaven, all's rigged with the world. And what's kind of funnier is that the wallet itself, which it's just like your normal like cheap leather fake wallet, but it has the logo stamped into the front, and
I got some good bootleg swag.
oh, and the funny thing about this is that the logo's correct in this one. They got it right once, couldn't do it twice.
Well, and a lot of that has to do with the way it's produced, and this isn't anime related, but it's a funny story I was trying to tell, I think you guys in the green room the other night. I have this collectible, it's a crucifix keychain, because a lot of these things are mass produced and they're done on a line with a bunch of other things. I found this at a gas station. Monica Rial and I were on our way to a convention in Austin, Texas called UshiCon. And I was like, I buy dumb stuff because if I have $4 in my pocket, it means I get to buy something for $4 because I'm 5. And I was just looking at these junky keychains, and there was this really tacky, because I needed this hat when I was in Canada. But anyway, so I saw this really tacky crucifix keychain that lit up when you pushed the top of it, like a little red light at the bottom flashed, and I was like, what is that? It wasn't until I picked it up and looked at it closer that I had to own it. On the back, in fancy letters, it said Betty Boop. And I had to go to the internet and find out the story. It was on a line where they produced several keychains and everything got out of sync. And so Jesus was named Betty Boop because everything got out of sync. So that's how some of these things happen, is they're just made assembly line style. It's just a bunch of stuff and they're cranking out cheap goods, and so you get stuff like that happens. What else?
Are there any other big things? Oh, plushies.
Plushies.
Oh, plushies.
Oh, man. Where is he? Oh, look at that hair, would you? You can see the glue in it, actually. There's this, I can't make that joke. Anyway, I was about to make something about Mary joke. But, so, the heart, see, somebody got it. So, the weird thing about working on this show was leading up to the actual release of the show, people would bring me merchandise, and specifically these, man, it's really wonky feeling even. Specifically these rip-off UFO dolls. And if you don't know who UFO is, it's the company that kind of pioneered this doll, this look of the anime doll. And they're really, I mean, they're still in business, they still make beautiful toys. But I knew for a fact that UFO never... Well, that's Honey's day job. Honey's kind of like...
That's what happened to this one. The front of the hair.
Oh, that's the lining. Oh, so... I don't even know who this is. Who's this supposed to be, Haruhi? Yeah, it's supposed to be Haruhi. Okay. Anyway, the funniest thing about information about bootleg UFO dolls, the best place to find an FAQ about how to spot bootleg UFO dolls is actually on eBay, which is ironic. It's bad. There are a lot of points that I could go over. Plush are some of the hardest to spot. I still to this day think they are the hardest toys to spot because the people that make plush, in some cases, go out of their way to make them look authentic. Japanese, okay, I'm gonna get nerdy. Surprise! Japanese toys, specifically plush toys, are usually broken into two divisions. They're prize toys and then they're collectible toys. If it's a collectible toy, it has to have something called a safe toy code on the back. This is not an official safe toy code, but they did the ST to look just like the authentic Japanese safe toy code. And Colin, tell me about some wow, this is awful. Tell me about some telltale, I can't even look at that, take that away from me. It's so bad. What are some things you can look for with plush?
Well, one of the big things, we've said this already, but copyright.
Branding, copyright.
Also, generally, I believe with plush, they sew the tag into the thing.
Yeah, there's a rule with tags on plush, and they usually never puncture any part of the of the actual plush itself. They would like put it through the clothes or through a piece of. They would never put it through the hand. This is clearly, he has a body piercing now. Honey has got her ring finger pierced. His ring finger pierced. I still think of Honey as Lucy Christian. Okay. So they try to put the tags in a place where if you were to pull them off, they don't do any damage to the actual toy itself.
And one thing that used to be, I guess it's not so much anymore, was the
eyes.
Sometimes they would, like this one is bootleg, but it has embroidered eyes. Sometimes you'll get the one that they have screen printed or they've just been glued on. And those are also, I mean, they're all bootlegs now, but
yeah.
Yes.
There's like if you have like a legit UFO figure, there's usually some weight in the head.
Does that hardly have jowls?
It's got like it's got a weight to it, and this is it feels like one of those toys you get at a carnival.
Feels like a newborn baby.
It does, and its head is floppy just like a newborn baby. But
it does, yeah. Like.
So there's like no weight to this figure. It's like. It just feels, you know when you win a toy at a carnival and you spent like $20 on this toy and then you get it and you're like, man, my life is sad because this sucks really bad. That's how this, that's how it makes me feel, like ashamed to hold it.
Shame toy.
Shame toy.
So, oh man. What?
Shame toy. For me personally.
Yeah, yeah.
If they have skin or hair, a lot of times, like if the ears will be a different color than the actual skin, or the hair will be different colors on different parts.
Well, yeah, and UFO. I mean, like if you go to the UFO FAQ, they have standards that they use for all of their toys, and they don't deviate from that. So if you see something that's different from that, definitely.
Another thing, it's legit. And this is not just with plushies in general, but the colors can be off. There are some Totoros that are
green,
or like bright green.
I've seen the green Totoro.
There's a Totoro that's scared. There's a Totoro backpack that I love because he's like this. He's like, and I love it because Totoro's not scared. He's happy. Yeah, and the thing about here's a good one with Miyazaki. Any kind of Miyazaki merchandise. Well, I don't know. That's going to change because now Disney's licensing a lot of it. But generally, when you see what look like Studio Ghibli collectibles, are those cheap?
No. No.
No. There is a little wind-up carousel. It's like a Totoro carousel. That retails for $350, and it's just a wind-up toy. So if you find somebody selling Ghibli merchandise for like $25 at a convention, move on. When you were talking about plush, I wanted to say that if you walk up to a table and all the plush are thrown in a pile and it looks like they don't care, I would ask this person, and this is a great vendors hate me for telling people to do this, but walk up to a vendor and go, how can I tell this is a licensed product? Because a vendor that knows what they're doing will go, oh, okay, well, this has got the UFO tag. And have some patience. Don't do it when there are 20 people in line, because that's why one vendor almost cussed me out. They're like, I was busy, and this kid said you had to ask about bootlegs. But, like, a person that makes their living selling a product should know how to spot a licensed product. And there's nothing wrong with asking questions. So if you say, hey, how do I know this is legit? You know, this is a Mario figure, but I see Nintendo's name nowhere on it. Well, just keep walking. Yes?
We're going to have to wrap this up
really because we're about to have fun.
To the stuff, but one thing I did want to mention is that, you know how we said looking for the region 0 is pretty much a sure sign? That does not mean that if it is not region 0, it's legit. This right here says region 1, but it's a total bootleg. And that is actually the thing that got me when I was buying it. I was like, oh, is this legit? Oh, it's got a... And this one also has a copyright on it. It's the wrong copyright, but it has a copyright on it. It says region 1. So when I bought it, thought it was legit. Not so. So it's one of those things where there's stuff you do have to educate yourself about who owns the stuff. And I mean that like, I just don't have a life, so that's what I do all day.
But no, we all get bored late at night on the internet.
But it's a thing you just have to do the legwork and figure it out. But we have covered most of the easy ways to tell.
And like I said, communities are also helpful because, like, I might not know how to spot good bootleg Ava stuff, but Colin knows everything about every piece of Ava merchandise ever. And if I say, hey, there's this Ava skateboard that has Shinji, and they're like, no, that's not real. That's not real. I never made that. And that's why it's good to be members of communities online, because if you're a member of a Sailor Moon community and you're like, hey, I just got this thing, somebody will go, no, I don't think that's legit. So it's time. So
it's time.
Do we have to tell? Is somebody going to tell them where we're going, or are we just going to all march out the front door?
Where's?
Hey, hang on, everyone.
Where did Churchill go? Where's our safety officer?
Out the door.
They all went outside. So are we just going to go right out the front? Okay. Everybody, hold your places. Hold your places.
He's coming.
I know. He's the bootleg sacrifice kid. First, gotta go fast.
No, you gotta go fast as well. Don't want to get eaten.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, so we're gonna all go out the front door, and you will see where we're headed next.
Here we go. Bootleg Bomber next.